Welcome to the Collaborative Resource Hub by Wellness Provisions. I'm Amy McBride, owner of Wellness Provisions, the most badass wellness business. You're tuning in to the Delay Dying Blog podcast edition because who wants to read when you can have someone read to you? Unless you like using your eyeballs, then catch every single essay over on the website. Just select ones, make it to the podcast. And if you're the pill popping type, no supplements, then Welly P has you covered. We supply rock and rollers with high quality supplements. We're a trustworthy place to go where you can essentially shop blindfolded. Last but not least, my legal disclaimer: nothing in this essay or the Collaborative Resource Hub substitutes medical advice. Please connect with your GP if you need medical guidance. These are my essays, my take on all things wellness, written to educate and inspire. Enjoy today's essay. How to make your memory suck less. I was going to start this essay with a witty joke or some kind of comment about memory, but I don't remember any jokes and I can't think of anything clever. So I thought I would type that itself because isn't that what's relatable? The fact that our memories seem to really disappoint us more often than not. Yeah, so you're in the right place. For most of us, our long-term memory is pretty solid. We can remember stories from childhood far better than someone's name we just met, directions for something, or where you put your sunglasses. Science has theories behind this, as do I, and there is some overlap, thank goodness. So, in this essay, my forgetful friends, we're going to briefly look at what short-term memory, working memory, and long-term memory are, and then some tips and ideas on things you can do to give your little brain a fighting chance. So here we go, before my train of thought completely leaves the station. The terms of memory. So we've got short-term memory, working memory, and then long-term memory. They each have to do with length of time and duration information is kept. So short-term memory is brief, fleeting by the second, unless actively reinforced. And you can only store so much in there at once, and it can vary. In 1956, in an influential paper titled The Magical Number 7 Plus or Minus 2 by psychologist George Miller, suggested that people can store between 5 and 9 items in short-term memory. And yes, this research is still regarded from 1956. Meanwhile, working memory refers to the ability to use, manipulate, and apply memory for a period of time. For example, recalling a set of instructions as you complete a task. While short-term memory refers only to the temporary storage of information in memory. Now, how do you form a long-term memory? According to Very Well Mind, in order for a memory to be retained, it needs to be transferred from short-term memory stores into long-term memory. But the exact mechanisms for how this happens remain controversial and not well understood. Lovely. But recently, researchers have proposed that some mental editing takes place and that only particularly memories are selected for long-term retention. Factors such as time and interference can affect how information is encoded in memory. I also believe that the more you reinforce the memory, as in the more you think about it over and over in your head, the more you're ensuring it lasts in your long-term piggy bank, never to be cashed out. Emotion also impacts memories. The more intense feelings you had around the event, the more likely you are to have it stay in your brain. And of course, we could get into how your memory can actually be quite deceptive and what you think you remember is fact, well, isn't, but that's for another day. So we'll put a bow on the terms of memory here. Accept our fate that we lost our keys for the third time this week, and look at some ways we can stop losing our keys. Understanding loss and retention. First of all, according to Very Well Mind, again, mild memory loss doesn't always indicate a problem, and certain memory changes are a normal part of aging. Short-term memory loss can also be caused by other non-permanent factors, including substance use, anxiety, depression, grief, medication side effects, sleep deprivation, and stress. Stress, my foggy brain friends, is a legitimate impairment to your memory. It's also like how your risk of clumsiness increases the more stressed you are. How much stuff do you drop or knock over when you're hurried and stressed, right? You're all over the place, and survival mode is not a conducive environment for much of anything to blossom, aside from your blood pressure. Noisy environments have been shown to make it more difficult to retain new information, as well as being distracted with other thoughts while the new information is coming into your brain. If you're thinking about something else, how do you expect to remember what you just heard? Tips to remember stuff. Repetition. Memory consolidation is the process in which the brain converts short-term memories into long-term ones. Rehearsing or recalling information over and over again creates structural changes in the brain that strengthen neural networks. The repeated firing of two neurons makes it more likely that they will repeat that firing again in the future. Talk. The more you can share what you learned with someone else, be able to apply it to your own life, or weave the information into the form of a story, the more likely you are to retain the stuff. Facts can be hard to remember unless they're enveloped in a relatable story. Visualization. So this is pretty cool and dates back to around 500 BC. The method of Loki involves mentally placing the items you're trying to learn or remember around a room, such as on the sofa or next to a plant. To trigger your memory, you then visualize yourself going to each location, triggering your recall for that information. Pretty far out. Tips for a better brain. Sleep. You need it because according to current research, the Sleep Foundation says that it's believed memory consolidation, the process of preserving key memories and discarding excessive information, takes place during both the non-rapid eye movement, sleep, and rapid eye movement stages of your sleep cycle. Studies also suggest that insufficient and excessive sleep can both affect memory processing and other cognitive processes. The first 3 stages of sleep prepare your brain to learn new information the next day. Not sleeping or getting enough sleep can lower your learning abilities by as much as 40%. That's crazy, guys. Crazy. Diet. Eating foods that are highly processed, full of sugar and oxidative plant seed oils, cause inflammation in the body and brain, leading to cognitive impairment. As I type this, I just jumped onto Google to find some supporting research since there is a correlation between Alzheimer's and diabetes. And here you go, straight from alzheimers.org. High blood sugar causes inflammation. This may damage brain cells and cause dementia to develop. Most people with diabetes have type 2, which is linked to lack of exercise and being overweight. When diabetes is not controlled, too much sugar remains in the blood. Over time, this can damage organs, including the brain. Scientists are finding more evidence that could link type 2 diabetes with Alzheimer's, the most common cause of dementia. Several research studies following large groups over many years suggest that adults with type 2 have a higher risk of developing Alzheimer's, which also these days is being referred to as type 3 diabetes. Water. You need to stay hydrated because your brain is approximately 80% water. Even mild dehydration can cause fatigue, headaches, and lack of mental clarity. Self-talk. Oh, it's a real thing. Affirm the good memory and cognitive abilities you wish to have by telling yourself throughout the day that you love your brain. You have a good memory. You remember all the details and you love retaining new information. If you think your brain is crap, then you'll prove yourself right. But mind you, positive affirmations like this must work in conjunction with other healthy lifestyle choices that support a better brain. Supplements. Last, but definitely not least, we're bringing in the big guns with supplements that have been clinically proven, yes, clinically, my friends, to improve brain functioning. I'm not going to go into a ton of detail, but our Healthy Cognition Wellness Kit exists for this purpose. It's got fish oil and lion's mane, both which have been exhaustively studied for their positive effects with memory, learning ability, and overall cognition. And for an extra boost, this wellness kit will check off the brain boxes and then check off more boxes you didn't even know were there, like mood support, joint support, and a healthy cardiovascular system. Boom. And here we are, end of the line. This train of thought has just returned to the station to regroup after taking you on quite the journey through memory land. If you have questions about your brain and how your lifestyle choices may be affecting it, holler at me. As a wellness coach, I can reread this essay to you in our one-on-one session so your memory can suck less. No, I'm kidding, but I can help you troubleshoot what's going on and support you as you get yourself back on track to the train tracks of your thoughts. All right, enough with the train analogy. Over and out. Amy from Honest Provisions. Think well, my friends.
My life was a mess until I met